Dr. Brukash stole my thunder a little bit, but I hope you weren't expecting me to talk about financial aid, because that's actually not what I'm going to be talking about. Too often, I'll come to these conferences all the time, and I'll tell you, if I was going to school to be a doctor, I'd sprint out the door, because it is so frightening across the board, from tests to schooling to obviously debt. Even what we call financial aid, student debt, student loans, it's all scary. And the thing that drives me crazy, has always driven me crazy, is there's no value tied to that directly. Why do we have to talk about just debt? Hey, you're gonna have big numbers, $250,000, $300,000 in student debt. That's all they talk about. There's no direct value. You know, if I go down the street to go buy a house for $250,000, there's a direct value. The house is worth $250,000, maybe $300,000. We don't talk enough about the value of that. And I'll tell you, we work with over 200 medical professionals from all different fields, and 100% of them that have taken out student debt have a successful career in life, 100%. So when we look at it that way, and we're trying to kind of change the narrative of it all, now we're talking about a 100% guaranteed investment in your future. Not financial aid, not student debt, not student loan, we're talking about 100% guaranteed investment. Okay, so hopefully now everybody's shoulders are down a little bit. It's a little easier. I have roughly 5 minutes. I could sit here and go through slides talking about term and interest rate and debts and refinance and forgiveness on your debt and all of that, but you guys can just Google that to get all that information. So I like to just tell specific stories. Because right now, there is a big transition. What I'm saying, we work with a lot of not only employed W-2 doctors, but also doctors that have private practices. And you're seeing a lot of younger doctors come in. Huge opportunity. You guys are in healthcare. We know about the aging population. So you guys are needed. Doctors, unfortunately, are also aging. So we need you guys. And there's this big turnover, whether that's employed or private practice, where there's a huge opportunity. So quick story that I have, actually a doctor that called me this week, and we kind of laughed about it, and I told him I was gonna tell, I won't mention his name. But 5 years ago, he came to me at 31. He came to me, he had a beat up Honda Civic that was, I think it had like 190,000 miles on it. He had $2,000 in his bank account, $270,000 in debt. He just got hired, just got out of podiatry school, just got hired as a podiatrist, and he was wide-eyed and frightened. Had no idea. The only thing he was locked in on was his debt. Okay, so that was 31. I told you everything. Okay, fast forward. He's 36 now. He has 2 kids. He's married. He has a $800,000 house in Highland Park. He's got about $500,000 in investable assets. He's got about $100,000 in equity in the practice. And now, conservatively, let's just say by the time he's 60, he'll be worth about $5-6 million. So now the narrative has changed. Now it's not, man, I have $275,000, is that what I'm gonna do? He doesn't even think about it. Honestly, his debt is being paid out of his investments right now. He literally doesn't think about it. All he thinks about is practicing medicine, doing what he truly wanted to do, and now he gets to live a long, successful life doing so. So whenever we talk about debt, aid, student loans, you need to tie it back into value. Why am I doing this? Obviously, you guys are doing it for more reasons than financially, but hopefully for your life's work, putting in the time that you do, we want you to be successful financially down the road as well, to leave a legacy, take care of your family, whatever it may be. Last big thing, I always talk about this because of working with doctors for 13 plus years right now. And this is another topic, kind of off topic, but I think it's not spoken about enough, is working with employed doctors, private practice, from 35 to 75. The most successful doctors that I've worked with have a common gift. It's a gift of sales. I know everyone now starts to freak out. They don't tie back sales and the medical industry, but it's just communication. So as you go through all this and you have your head in a book and you're kind of locked into what you're doing, that's fantastic. But remember to communicate, create a network. Polish American Medical Society, I tell you, Dr. Brukash, when he asks me to do something, I will sprint to it because what they do to leave a legacy for people like you is above and beyond. And that's that's what it's all about. So communicating with hospitals, communicating with patients, communicating with nurses, whatever it may be. If you don't spend time on that, I'd say it's probably 60, 70% of your overall success. So that's it for me today. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, we'll talk later. Thank you.
Great talk.